Hi, my name is Pat, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to my Asian Readathon reading vlog. Today is actually the 10th of May. I had a few books I need to finish before I actually start reading, but I actually finished a book already. It's very short, it's written in verse. This is Turtle Under Eyes by Julia del Rosario. This tells the story of two sisters finding their way through life after losing their mother and their father marrying a different woman, and that their stepmom becoming pregnant. And they're both kind of still reeling from their mother's death. And one day, Rowan, the younger sister, realizes that her older sister Ariana has gone missing in the night. And so it follows them as they deal with their grief and losing their mother. And again, it's really sad, very heavy. I cried at the end. And it's very beautiful. I don't really know a lot about poems and writing in verse, so I can't really tell you in terms of like the technicalities of the poetry, but I think it's very beautiful written. I really feel for the sisters. It really shows you how grief is seen and shown by different people in different ways, and the way they deal with it and all of that. It talks about sisterhood and family and identity as well, because the characters are Filipino American. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. But being as it is very heavy, I was gonna pick up Kim Ji-young, born 1982, but that one is also a very heavy, difficult topic to read, and I've just been very emotional lately, so I decided maybe not that one. So I decided to pick up We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal, and this is YA fantasy. I'm very excited about this. It's one of my most anticipated reads for this year ever since I finally had my copy of it. It's pretty long, it's like 400 plus pages, but you know, it's fantasy and hopefully it'll read really fast. So that is my update for right now. So far, I'm really enjoying this. Hello, it's been a few days. It's currently the 18th, and I finished We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. It's been really busy with work. I also got the shot for the virus, for the COVID virus, like Saturday, and I got really sick, and I don't know, I was just very busy, and I was also very like into this book, so I didn't update a lot. I love this book, by the way, so much. I was so taken right from the beginning. Writing is so beautiful, the world is so intricate. I love it so much. It's so different, so unique, and the characters are just so lovable. This has, right after like Six of Crows, I just found family tropes probably one of my favorite things. It's one of the things that I realized after reading Six of Crows. I mean, I've read Percy Jackson and I really love the found family in that as well, but I think Six of Crows kind of just like made me realize just how much I really love found family tropes. But this one, knowing that, going into this one was just like, also Hafsa Faizal does a really great job of writing very beautifully with it. This is a very dense book, by the way, but still, like the first few chapters, I already felt like if I dissociate for even a very short while when reading this book, I will miss a lot of things. Just very good at putting in like subtle emotions, subtle informations as she's telling the story, and it's so good. And I really, really, really love this. And I do want to get to the next book, but I do have a few more books that I do want to finish first before I read that one. Hopefully I'll read it before the month ends, but I really love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. It's so, but it took me a while to finish this though, but yeah, I was pretty busy with work and other stuff too, and I just was very much into this book. That's why I didn't really update often. So yeah, I really like this one. Next one I also finished is Kim Ji-young, born 1982. This is very short, but I read this one over the course of 3 days because I wasn't able to read Sunday because I got really sick. Saturday we were really busy, so I wasn't really able to read a lot. I still read a little bit, but I almost threw this book out of my window. Thankfully, my window is a screen, and thankfully I kind of caught myself and just chucked it at my bed. It was very good though. I only knew that this was a feminist story, or like feminism slash the misogyny in Korea during the 1980s, 90s, and the early 2000s. Up until now, honestly. And again, as I mentioned, a lot of celebrities who have read this book or who were seen reading this book were hated on and bashed on the internet because of the fact that this is a book that discusses and shows the misogyny in Korean culture. And yeah, this, reading it, I was like, oh, I can definitely see the misogyny, and it's kind of how it's written in the culture. It's very similar to how it is in the Philippines, but it was the ending really that made me so mad. that I almost threw the book. It's very short again, it's 160 pages. I could have probably finished it in one day, but things happened, and again, I really like this one. It made me very mad though, very mad. Now I really want to watch the movie and see how it's, translated and what the take was. So yeah, Kim Ji-young, born in 1982. We follow her throughout her childhood. Yeah, it's cut in different sections. Childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, marriage, and then 2016. The first chapter is 2015, when she was diagnosed with, or when she was introduced to a therapist, and she was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And then we follow her story as she grows up in Korea during the 1980s, 90s, and early 2000s. So yeah, it made me very mad. And I'm currently reading this one from Chanel Miller, Know My Name. And I have been wanting to read this book, but it was really Cindy who talked about this. It made me really put it on my top to read list. And I'm only 70, 90 pages in, and I have tabbed so many pages. I've actually used up all my green tabs, and now I moved on to my blue tabs. And I feel like I want to highlight and tab every page, because Chanel Miller is such a great writer. She has great talking points. She has great questions as she narrates her experiences and the thoughts going through her head. And it really made me mad too. It's not a very good idea to read this book back to back, because I'm just mad, but I'm also sad too, because this is very recent. This is 2015 to 2020. Although we haven't really gotten into 2020 yet. It's only around 2015. Still, that's only 5 years ago, 6 years ago. The world... Anyway, I'm really enjoying this one. She's a great writer. Her writing is so beautiful. You get really sucked into her story, and she has a smart way of telling the story, but also a very personable way of telling the story. You don't get lost or confused with her writing. So it's reflective of the experience of an American woman here. And I've only been in America for 3 years now, and half of that was spent in quarantine. But still, I see her experiences, even when I still lived in the Philippines, obviously. So it's kind of a universal thing, the things that we experience sometimes. Kind of different across, different cultures, but the basic treatment of women pretty much around the world is almost the same. And it's very, very sad to think that with how far we've come, we still experience all these things. Anyway, I really enjoy this one. I'm really loving this, and I'm just having so much fun reading. It's been a slow month for me, but it's completely understandable with the things. I've been really busy this month, but I'm not very sad about that. Hopefully I'll finish this tomorrow, maybe the next day, and then by the end of the week maybe I can start with my other books in my TBR, because I do have quite a few ones, and we're already finished with this month. I mean, it's a big TBR. I'm not super mad about it. I'm almost done with all my challenges. Once I finish this one, I finished all my challenges for the Asian Readathon, which is great. Hi. I haven't finished it yet. I'm almost done. I'll probably finish it tomorrow, but I just finished the trial part, the story idea. What was it part? The sentencing part. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been crying. And I just read her victim statement. And wow, just the entire book, the frustrations, the anger, it's a lot. It's so insulting when you fight so hard and gave up so much and gave your all for something, and the people around you who are supposed to be listening to you are undermining what has happened. It's difficult to talk about. Yeah, that's just really frustrated right now, and angry and sad. I'll update you guys when I finish this one. Okay, so I just want to read out this part, which I feel like summarizes what I'm feeling at this point in the book. So it says, we'd gotten an arrest, a guilty verdict, the small percentage that gets the conviction. It was time to see what justice looked like. We threw open the doors and there was nothing. It took the breath out of me. Even worse was looking back down to the bottom of the mountain, where I imagined expectant victims looking up, waving, cheering expectantly. What do you see? What does it feel like? What happens when you arrive? What could I tell them? A system does not exist for you. The pain of this process wouldn't be worth it. Couldn't be worth it. These crimes are not crimes but inconveniences. When you were assaulted, run and never look back. This was not one bad sentence. This was the best we could hope for. At the very start of the sentencing, the judge said the question he had to ask himself was, is incarceration in state prison the right answer for the poisoning of Chanel's life? I thought it had been strange the way he'd phrased it. To him, my lost job, my damaged hometown, my small savings account, my stolen pleasures had all amounted to 90 days in county jail. I wondered if, in their eyes, the victim remained stagnant, living forever in that 20-minute time frame. She remained frozen while Brock grew more and more multifaceted, his stories unfolding, a spectrum of his life and memories opening up around him. He got to be a person. Where was her redemption story? Nobody talked about the things she might go on to do. I had laid my suffering bare, but I lacked a key element. The judge had given Brock something that would never be extended to me. Empathy. My pain was never more valuable than his potential. Privilege. That's... Hello, so in a few days, and I finished Know My Name, I think 2 days ago. I have a lot of tabs. I don't know if you can see that properly, but I have a lot of tabs because I feel like I need to highlight the entire book. It's so good. It's so good. Very emotional, very frustrating, rage-inducing read. I feel like this is one of those books that I will recommend to everybody. There's a reason why a lot of people recommend this, and those who have read it recommend this, because the writing by Chanel Miller is so good. She's a really great storyteller, but aside from that, her points and her point of view, her thought process, and like the entire story, like her entire stories, so compelling to read. Whenever I'm reading a book, I always try to put myself in that person's shoe as much as I can, and it's really hard to read a topic that is like this, and you see the aftermath of it, of what she experienced, but also, you know, the other experiences that she has that is tied to this assault that she experienced. Like, she would get catcalled on the streets while she's just walking home, and it's like every woman has experienced that, and she experiences it every day on top of being assaulted and being put into court and reliving this entire thing over and over and over again. It's... how do you put it into words? How do I put it into words? It's really difficult, but again, the point that she raised, the entire experience that she has, you know, how it has changed her and how it has changed the relationship she has with her family, her sisters, but also how it strengthened the bond that she has with her family and the special people around her. It's really moving. It gives you hope, but also it shows you the reality of, you know, this justice system of the society that we live in. The different comments that she gets from the internet. For every 100, you know, kind comments that she receives, she gets 2-3 hateful comments that, you know, blame her, who question her. And it's so infuriating. A lot of people want to demean her and demean her experiences and lessen the impact of what she went through. And it also raised, because she's Chinese American too, so it also, in my head, raised a lot of like race questions and white privilege and the fetishization of minorities, not just Asians. And it's a lot of things. And I feel like everybody should read this, because it's not just a story of assault. It's not just that, and I don't want people to go into this and it's just a story of assault. It's her story. It's Chanel Miller's story. It's Know My Name, the title of the book, because you're following her story, and her story isn't just revolving around the assault. It started with it, but it goes back to how she grew up and the people around her, and, you know, it talks about the justice system. It talks about institutions and how difficult it is to be, and just her experiences as she lives her life after this assault, and, you know, just everything that she goes through. So yeah, I read her victim impact statement, which is the main thing that really put the spotlight on her story. It's the amount of rage that I felt in this book. It also makes me sad that this is recent. This is 2015. Everybody should read this. It's only 300 pages, and you're gonna fly through this because she tells her story in a very, very compelling, beautiful way that you want to read it. you absorb each of her words and her thoughts and her feelings, and you know the realizations that she has throughout the story. And know my name, read it, please. Yeah, so I finished all of the books for this month. I still have a few days to go. I definitely am not going to finish my entire TBR, unfortunately. And also, I saw this post on Instagram about canceling authors and how if we keep canceling authors, we won't have any author to read, or we won't have any books to read. Read it. I'm also on Book Talk now, so there's a lot of really good discussions on there about this thing too, and a lot of other things as well about, you know, consumerism and buying books, hauls and book collecting and all that. And there's a lot of really great topics that are raised on Book Talk that we have talked about in Instagram before, but we haven't really kind of talked about anymore. So it's been really great. I'm still starting out. I need to figure out how to like really do more videos because it's a lot of fun and it's only like a minute long. So yes, that is it for this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any more suggestions from like Asian authors that I should read, please comment them below. I still have a few more books from Asian authors that I do want to read. I haven't read the sequel to Beyond the Flame, but I am planning on picking that up hopefully before the month ends, and also Stacey Lee books that are on my TBR as well. And I recently received finally my copy of Late Night at the Telegraph Club by Melina Lowe from Penguin Teen, and yeah, I'm also excited to read that one. Include that in June. In June, I'm also joining a different readathon, which is mainly over on Book Talk, but we are encouraged to share it everywhere else that we have a platform. So yes, thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this vlog, I feel like I didn't really do a great job on it, so I'll try. It's been a while since I've done reading vlogs, and I keep forgetting to episode. Yeah, that's it for right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.